Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining my meetup. This is the second meetup for this year, 2024. We're going to tell you our story of how we got into crypto and talk about this time different this meetup here and why we think this time is different. Each of us are going to have our different opinions on why we think this crypto cycle is going to be different, or maybe not. Right, we're going to start off with Maurizio. Tell us a bit about your story, how you got into crypto, and let the audience know how you first got into crypto.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming, first of all. For me, it was almost 2013. I had no idea what I was doing. My brother came in my home and said, hey, we need to buy this thing, it's going to be a new thing. And I said, okay, here's $10,000, let's do something. I was in London back then. And we used a platform I shall not name because it's not operative anymore. And we started investing. Basically, you could mine online. You would basically buy computing power and they would mine on your behalf. So we let it run for a few months. Actually, it was almost a year. And when we wanted to cash it out, well, hello, not your key, but your coins, right? So there was a problem with the cashing out. So then we kind of regrouped and said, okay, what are we going to do now? We basically lost, or you learn a lesson. So what are we going to do now? Are we going to go away entirely, or are we going to do it properly? So we then went back into it. I think it was end of 2014. We started to do dollar cost average. It was a very different space. I'm sure you remember Davinci was one of the only people talking on YouTube, which we were watching your videos. And then, of course, ever since it's been a journey, lots of lessons. And I think the best thing you can do, I think someone ever asked about how do you do the 30x. I'm not a trader myself, so I don't trade. I actually buy and hold. That's my thing. I actually I measure bottoms. I know that it's a joke in the office because I like bottoms, but if you actually forget the top and look at the bottoms, this thing is going up. So my advice would be, buy into Bitcoin, whatever you can, with money you are okay to lose, because we don't know. We actually made a video on Monday, the Crypto King on the Moon show, and we were expecting a big pump by Monday, not Monday yet, so we might be right with it. So yeah, then ever since it's been a journey of self-learning about this beautiful asset.
Awesome. All right, Crypto Kid, tell us a little bit about your story, how you got into crypto when you were 5 years old.
Yeah, so honestly, I wish I got it earlier. It's such a shame that I discovered it late, but it is what it is. I was 12, so I was a musical theater actor for 6 years. My thing was acting. I wanted to become an actor, and I still do. So when COVID hit, I couldn't continue acting because, of course, all theaters broke down, and not broke down, but they were closed, and we couldn't perform. So I went into voice acting, and then during the COVID lockdown, which was terrible, and you couldn't do anything, so I had so much time in my hands. I was very into finance, and when I was growing up, my father always told me about his business, about what was happening in the world, so I was already into finance and what was happening globally. And during this time, I took the opportunity to learn about the stock market and how people make money in stocks, because I was like, God, okay, stocks are moving 1%, 2%, how are people making so much money? So while I was studying that, I came across a video from Raoul Pal, Real Vision TV, that said Ethereum was going to hit $50,000 by the end of this year. And this was like 2020. So clearly that didn't happen, but at least I was able to get into crypto there when I found it interesting that how can such a small asset with very little value go up by 100x or whatever it is. That was the first point when I discovered crypto. Then shortly after, we had like Elon Musk tweeting about Dogecoin and Tesla integrating Dogecoin and whatnot and all of that craziness. So I was telling my dad, let's buy Dogecoin. I want to buy Dogecoin. And he was like, no, I'm going to have to open an exchange account and we're going to have to upload this, that. So he kind of didn't do it and he missed out on 100x. And then after he missed out, I was like, Dad was right. So that convinced him to open an exchange, and that's how I invested my first 1K into Bitcoin and other cryptos, which I saved up from doing shorts, etc. So for 2 years, 3 years, I was trying to learn technical analysis, and in the meantime, I was following Davinci, Carl, and these two legends are the guys who taught me about crypto, basically. When following them, I actually discovered that Davinci was hosting a meetup one weekend, and I was telling my parents, like, I want to go this weekend, let me go, because they weren't letting me go. I was like 13, 14, so I had to call a cab on my own and go to some place with a bunch of grown-ups, maybe they won't let me in. But that was the best decision of my life, because when I went to a meetup exactly like this, I was able to meet Davinci, I was able to meet Carl. and they taught me basically everything I know. So I'm super grateful for that. Now I'm 16, I'm building my own channel. I talk about crypto technical analysis and trying to educate the youth about Bitcoin and blockchain technology.
That's an awesome story, right? All right, Carl, how about your story? How did you get into crypto?
So actually, I started crypto in 2017, but the reason why I started crypto was because earlier, back in 2011-12, after the financial crisis, I was already on YouTube and searching about information regarding the banks and the dollar and why that's a bad system, and the corruption regarding the whole financial crisis led me into gold and silver, actually, physical gold and silver. So with the little money I had, which was a few $1,000s maybe, I was buying gold and silver, physical, ordering it and getting it home in the mail. I thought that was amazing. I loved gold and silver back then. I still do, but I just love Bitcoin more now. But when I heard about Bitcoin in 2017, I basically already knew about banks and the dollar and the fiat system and how bad that is. And I also knew how good gold is, but I realized that Bitcoin is actually better than fiat, but also better than gold. So from the very first day of learning about Bitcoin, I was super hooked and started researching every single day, and they got super nerdy and super into it, to the point where my parents got actually kind of worried, I would say, because they thought I was spending time on some bullshit that they didn't understand. I think my dad one time called it shady. He was like, "Oh, Bitcoin sounds shady, so you should stop this computer stuff." But yeah, a few years later, of course, they realized that that was a good decision to spend my time on, and yeah, that's like the kind of the short story. And I started my YouTube channel, and that was my first step into the professional world of crypto. And since then, I've done many things. I think many probably know about it, but yeah, that's my quick story.
Awesome. Great story. You tell people about how you started in the grocery store, right? That's also cool. How you were just working in the grocery store and built yourself out of there. It's an amazing story. Unice, girl, how did you get into crypto?
Hey everyone, I'm Unice, they call me Crypto Unicorn. Personally, how I started, I was a travel blogger and I wasn't interested in anything else, and it really happened because I was in Melbourne and it happened to be COVID lockdown and I was bored. So I got into crypto because of boredom. So I learned how to do TA trading. So I started off with Australian stocks and I did that for a few months and I realized, let's go try US stocks, let's buy some Tesla, let's buy some gold, and this is much quicker, much more liquidity. And then someone wrote to me on Twitter and said, hey, why don't you do this? This is Bitcoin. And I was like, what is this? So I'm a bit of a controversial over here. I'm not a Bitcoin person like that, I'm an altcoin girl, because I like quick pumps, I like things that go up to 50x, 100x, 1000x, and these things can be done. I already done it, I don't know, like the last few weeks on meme coins and Solana. Everything is just going crazy. And we'll talk about that later, I'm not even interested. And with my Twitter account, I wasn't really interested in being an influencer. That's not my thing. It just came out of nowhere because I started sharing all my alphas for free, just to prove a point because people thought that I was a guy. And I have to say, look, it's actually me. That's why I started posting my pictures. That's the only reason. So everything that I have at first, I started not for money, because of boredom. I started my accounts just to prove a point, and I think I proved them all. And now we will proceed to help make money there.
Awesome. Yes, you've done very well for yourself. Okay, so my story is basically the one where everybody thinks about me. I was telling you when to buy Bitcoin when it was only $1. But my story really started when Kramer came out on CNBC screaming, they know nothing, back in August of 2007. And I was like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he acting a fool on television? And so I started researching, what's going on with the banks? And I realized, oh my God, all the banks are bankrupt. They're going to collapse, right? And at first, I was like, dude, you're not an accountant. What are you talking about? You don't know what's going to happen. Maybe you're reading this all wrong. And I was like, yeah, maybe I am. And then the president came out and said, there's nothing wrong with our banking system. Our banking system is strong. That's when I knew I was 100% correct. And so I was telling everybody, dude, you gotta get your money out of the bank. They're all gonna collapse. And people were thinking I was nuts back in 2008, in the lead up to the September crisis. And I remember even betting someone in my office, hey, $1, one movie, hey, nothing's gonna happen in September. I'm like, okay, well, I'm taking the week off. I took 2 weeks off to watch the whole collapse of the financial system because I thought, it was over. And I was buying gold and silver, of course, at that time. And of course, what happened? We all know what happened. They printed money, and that's how they bailed out all the banks. And so all the banks were solvent again because they gave them free money. And so I realized, oh darn, this is not going to last. They're going to continue giving the banks free money. So I'm going to talk about this. I started talking about this on YouTube with my channel, and I didn't want to at first because I'm a software developer, pretty much an introvert, and so I just forced myself to do these videos. And then finally, somebody said, Davinci, what do you think about Bitcoin? And I thought immediately, it's a scam. There's no way you can solve that problem. But I'm going to start with software development. I'm going to read the source code. I'm going to see how they're going to scam me. And I was shocked. It was just not a scam. And my first video was like, every once in a while, something comes along that makes poor people rich because they bought it really, really cheap. I was banging on the table. This is one of them. And I thought for sure I was going to be the hero of my community because I was doing massive amounts of views and stuff like that. 20, 30,000 views because silver was taking off at the time in 2011, March of 2011. And so I thought for sure everybody would appreciate this and understand it. They didn't. They thought I was crazy. Many people thought I was trying to cheat them of their money or selling them some sort of scam. And I did my best. I said, I'm trying to explain to you guys how this is going to make you rich, why this is a new technology that will replace small money. And I was just people were just not believing me. They thought I was crazy. And I even said, listen, I'm so confident in this that I wouldn't even guarantee your money. I'll guarantee you, if you put it up to $1,000, right, I will back it up. But if it goes to zero, I'll pay you the $1,000. And only 5 people took me up on that offer. And yeah, they were very appreciative afterwards. Yes. All right, so that's my story. And let's talk about, this time is different with Bitcoin because we've seen a lot of cycles after that. Bitcoin went, when I first got into it, Bitcoin went from $1 to $32, back down to $2, all the way up to $266, down to $50, all the way up to $1,300, back down to $150, all the way up to $20,000, down to $3,000, just over $3,000, and then back up to $70,000. And now we are, at the $60,000 mark, 65, 64, and a lot of people are scared, a lot of people are nervous, and I think this time is going to be different. I think we're going to see something very crazy in the market. And I want to ask my panel members here, my friends, what do they think? Do they think that this time is different? I'll start off with you, Carl. Is this time different with crypto? Are we going to see something crazy?
I think the big difference from now and let's say 4 years ago is that we have the ETF right now. I think that huge thing for Bitcoin, I think everyone understands that. If you really think about it, how much money is available for Bitcoin now that was not available even 1 year ago. As soon as I think we break $100,000, I think all the media hype that comes from that, all the headlines, Bitcoin, $1,000, all of that media attention will have very high ROI because people that read these media articles can actually buy this time. Last time when Bitcoin broke to like 70K or 20K back in 17 or 21, sure, people probably wanted to buy, but I know that many people that wanted to buy, they maybe tried, but they failed in the beginning of the funnel because it was too hard to buy, to open an exchange, to learn the wallets. It just seemed like a headache, and they didn't. So I think a huge amount of people that really want to buy, they will buy now, but they just need that push of the FOMO. They're not gonna buy just like the ultimate scenario is to buy when it's low, right? But no one does. People never buy when it's low. People always buy when it breaks up, when it's in the news, when their hairdresser is talking about it, when everyone is talking about it. So that's gonna happen at $100,000. Everyone will talk about it. They will FOMO, and everyone will go into their broker account and they will click buy. And this time is different because we have that ETF now ready for institutions and retail to FOMO, and that's going to be a huge, like a perfect storm for Bitcoin when you combine that with inflation and maybe potential wars and all of these things that are happening in the world. So yes, this time is different for sure.
Yeah, speaking about wars, yes, we saw Bitcoin dump because of, so supposedly we're in World War III, but all the planes are still flying, so I don't think so. Unice, what do you think? Is this time different? You will have a different opinion than that, right, don't you?
Look, of course it's going to be different. It's always different. So in the past, when it comes to altcoins, what we know is the money flows into different sectors, right? So when Bitcoin pumps, everything else follows. And we used to say, so for Bitcoin, the Ethereum to the altcoins and flow into the meme coins. But this time was different. A few weeks ago, it was the meme coin run before Bitcoin halving. And usually, it takes about 6 to 8 months after Bitcoin halving where we will have a crazy run up, correct? But this time, it was a bit premature when it happened. So all of us were actually having dinner while we watched Bitcoin cross all-time high. And the feeling wasn't excitement for me. It was more like, I'm actually worried what is going on here. Like the market I can't read the market anymore. But we did have the meme coin run before Bitcoin halving. So potentially, it is different right now. I just don't know. I really don't know. It's different, but I don't know. I can't read.
Okay, alright, that's alright. No, not. We all don't know. We can all speculate and guess what the market's going to do, but anything can happen, right? Of course, it could be World War III, and yeah, things are going to be different, right? But hopefully that doesn't happen. Alright, Maurizio, tell us, what do you think about, do you think this time is different? Is Bitcoin going to do something different in the future? Or are we going to see like the cycle go up to an all-time highs, like crazy highs, and then come all the way back down? Or is it just going to keep going up?
I'm going to say something really controversial. By the way, I agree with Carl, I agree with you. I don't care. I just buy sats. I don't care what happens. I don't care what price it is. I just stay humble and stack sats. That's what I do. 50K, I buy Satoshis. 100K, I buy Satoshi. 50,000, I don't care. Because like you said, we can't control what happens. We can make a lot of money, I agree. So there are trends, ETFs, hard to ignore, of course, they are changing. But then, if, very philosophical thoughts, if every time is different, then it's always the same. Hence, I'm stacking sats.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Just buy. If it goes down, buy. If it goes up, buy. If it goes sideways, buy. That's it. All right, Crypto King. Everybody says that this time is different. Are you on board with that? Is this time different?
See, in my short amount of time in crypto, you would know better. Like, it's just every single cycle, everyone's like, oh, this time is different, this time is different. The truth is, it's not different. If you go to the monthly time frame for Bitcoin, you will see every single halving cycle. We go into a parabola, eventually this parabola breaks down, we have a bear market, but we never go below where we started off from. We have another parabola, etc., etc. It's the same thing. But as Mark Twain said, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. So even though it's not exactly the same, it is very, very similar. But statistically speaking, the only difference that we have right now is that Bitcoin will reach an all-time high for the first time before the halving event. And why was this? This was mainly due to the Bitcoin spot ETFs. So for the first time in Bitcoin's history, we have the ability to get institutional adoption to Bitcoin. This is the major difference, and this is huge because if you look at corporations, if they want to allocate money to a certain asset, they need to have the ETF equivalent of this asset to actually buy it. That's the difference. So right now, and in the previous cycles, it was just mostly retail investors who were buying and selling Bitcoin. But for the first time, we have the ability of unlocking trillions of dollars worth of capital that could be flowing into Bitcoin. That's the difference. And because of this incredible piece of information, Bitcoin was able to prematurely hit a new all-time high before the halving event. And there's something happening pretty interesting next week. That's why we said huge Bitcoin pump by Monday. But we can't predict everything that's going to happen, unfortunately. But next week, Bitcoin is expected to see the approval of Hong Kong spot ETFs. Why is this different? Why is this important? It's important because currently Asian capital is not easily being able to enter into Bitcoin. The moment an asset class that has demand, if you make the purchasing the barrier to entry lower, then the price of this asset will fly. The reason why Bitcoin was not at 70K 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it's the same thing. When Bitcoin is still Bitcoin, is because it was a lot harder to actually be able to gain exposure to Bitcoin. You had different exchanges that went down. You had Mt. Gox, you had different mining companies, whatever, they all went down. So actually getting safe exposure into Bitcoin was super complex that people were not able to allocate their money safely. Therefore, the price was low. Only the people that were able to take that risk were the ones profiting off of it. So now we fast forward multiple years in the future, gaining exposure into Bitcoin has become easier than ever. It's not the easiest thing to do still, but now we have an ability to get all these baby boomers that control most of the capital in the world to be able to allocate their money into Bitcoin as an asset. And so far, we've only unlocked Western capital. We've unlocked European capital. We've not experienced an unlocking capital in the Asian region. And with these Hong Kong spot ETFs, we are able to create a brand new market where in China particularly, people are not able to open exchange accounts. So this area of the world have not bought Bitcoin previously. And if we see this happening, then I think we will have the final leg towards the upside. Whereas Carl said it goes to 100K, and that's when we have the huge FOMO from every single person around the world. I mean, usually speaking, when Bitcoin breaks a prior all-time high, something that we're doing right now, there's not much media interest. So we see in the news, okay, Bitcoin, this asset is going and breaking all-time highs. I remember this when Bitcoin smashed 10K when I first got into crypto. The news was talking about it, but actual real individuals like me and you, we were still not into the space. It's not until Bitcoin hits a new parabolic high that me and you, we go into crypto and we're like, wow, okay, this thing's going to the moon, now we should buy something. That's the point where you gotta sell. When everybody's buying, that's of course not financial advice, but from my experience, that's the time to sell. Because if everybody is in one thing, then there's a huge chance that the big corporations, they will want to liquidate you. So in summary, I think if Bitcoin, eventually when it comes to 100K, that's when we'll see new people, not just people who were in crypto before, new people enter into the space. Then I believe they'll get wrecked. We can't get wrecked. That's just the reality of the market. We'll probably dump back down to where we are now. And then, because of the state of the world, because of the growing national debt, because of falling economic factors, I think Bitcoin has a very bright future.
I have to agree. I think Bitcoin will be money. And what is money? Money is your human energy stored in an asset that's visible, fungible, right, easily portable, and it can't be destroyed. It is your work effort, because you can't store your work effort in corn, because the corn will go bad. You can't store your work effort in salt, because salt can get wet and be destroyed. You can't store your work effort in chickens, because chickens are different sizes and so forth, so you don't know what the value is for each size of chicken. So, Bitcoin is the best and ultimate money because one, it is not only divisible, fungible, and everything, it's also fixed in supply. It will become our money that we use in the future for everyone and every single nation. And with that said, right, you start storing your work energy into Bitcoin today. You can actually just work and save. And you will know, right, with relatively certainty, because it's a mathematical formula, and is it breakable? It's not absolutely unbreakable, that's true. There's a small percentage chance, but there's a small percentage chance that an asteroid can hit the planet and wipe us all out. Are you going to bet on it? No, you can't. You can't do that. So you don't bet against Bitcoin, right? Collapsing. You bet on it doing very well because the odds are, if we're still here, and the odds are we're going to still be here, it's going to do extremely well, and it's going to be our money. So you have to all of you here are here to make money in crypto. And there's different ways to make money in crypto. And I suggest the easiest way to make money and the hardest way to make money is to just buy and hold. Just like Mauricio said. Just buy Bitcoin, save it, and your work energy will be stored there. And eventually, in 10 years, you'll be wealthier than you ever imagined. I believe that. So, that's why I recommend everyone just simply do the easiest yet hardest thing to do. If you just save your Bitcoins and don't touch them, say, okay, you know what, these Bitcoins that I've saved here, I'm never going to touch. Never. If I'm on the streets, I'm not using them. If there's any kind of emergency, I'm still not using it. If you think of it that way, just like if you're an American, you think you have your retirement from your Social Security, or Canadian with the RSPs, or wherever you are, where there's a retirement where you can't actually touch. Think of it like that. If you do that, you will be so happy with yourself. You will be called a legend in the future. That's because it's both easy and very difficult to do at the same time. So if you do that, that's one way to easily guarantee that you will be well off, because you'll be storing all your work energy into an asset that will go up in value, because everyone else will transfer their work energy to you. All right, with that said, Carl, how do you suggest people, basically make money in this crypto space? There's many different ways to make money in this crypto space. Why don't you tell them what ways do you suggest that they make money in this crypto space?
I think the very, very important step would be to just get a job in crypto. If that is, everyone is on different levels. Maybe some person already has a huge income from another, but for someone who's starting really from zero, I would make sure to get some kind of job in crypto and try to get paid in crypto, maybe, just to kind of get into crypto in the easiest way possible. But if you want to do the entrepreneurial route, which could start like that, by the way, then, I mean, obviously all of us chose YouTube, right? And the social media, I want to say easy because it's easy for us, but it's not for everyone. Some people really find it hard, but usually it's just a mental blockage that it feels hard because it's very uncomfortable for some people to show their face, maybe, or to be on social media. Usually that's just a mental blockage. So if that is something you can to work on, then social media is a great way to make money in crypto, and also to learn about crypto, because when you teach and inform people, you push yourself to also learn, which is one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel, actually, because I knew that I want to know everything about Bitcoin and crypto. So I thought the best way is to push myself to teach. So let's start a YouTube channel and talk about it, and then every day I hold myself accountable. Like I need to make great videos. I need to come up with a lot of information. And I did, in the beginning I was talking so much about the financial system and monetary system and Bitcoin and all of these things, and I learned so much. And then I also made money from it. And actually the money came almost more like a side effect rather than like the main purpose, because I had so much fun making the videos. And then just sponsors came, and affiliate partners, Bybit, for example. I was the first person the first big social media person to promote Bybit. That was a big moment for me because that generated some good cash flow. But yeah, social media is a good way. I don't have much experience with other things in the crypto. Like some people, they may be, there's so many things in crypto. I'm only talking about what I did. So other than that, you would have to ask someone who took another route. All of us took the social media route. And of course, investments. We all made investments. I made 400 investments in crypto, but for that you need some capital, right? So step one would be to get a job or to make some kind of income, and then start investing and learning. I think learning about the crypto space is the most important thing, because if you don't know a lot about crypto, then it's very hard to find the opportunities. The opportunity is not going to just fall into your lap. You're going to have to find it, and people say you have to create your own luck, and I think that's true. You need to be at the right space, you have to be in the right time, which is now, but you have to learn and be curious, and then when the opportunity comes, you will see it. So, some people will not see it, but you will see it because you're so into it and your energies towards crypto. And then I think, I talk about the law of attraction a lot, so if that's something that you want to try, that's probably the easiest way to get into anything in this world. Just visualize and believe and attract reality, and that's what I did actually. But on the crypto topic, I think that's what I wanted to say.
Excellent. I have to agree, getting a job in crypto, for example, a lot of my employees get paid in crypto, right? So yeah, that's an easy way to just start making money in crypto and actually saving for crypto, because you already have it, and then you can still store it away. All right, Crypto King, how would you let the audience know how to make money in this space if they're interested in making money in this space, and it's not just save hold, it's actually making money in this space?
See, let me tell you why this space is the right space to first be putting your time into, because your time is the most valuable commodity you have. And when I started in this space when I was 12, I was looking at different things. I was seeing that clearly, as AI develops, as globalization becomes a bigger thing, everybody has access to the internet, everybody has instantaneous access to information. So I was like, hold on a second. If I want to become somebody big in this world, in my generation, I need to start young. So when I was looking at different industries, I saw that what was most scalable, what was the most future-proof, and something that I had talent in and I had interest in, because I said, I did musical theater, so me doing YouTube, it's something that I love to do, that I enjoy doing. So that's why I selected crypto, because future-proof, scalable, and I enjoy doing it, while at the same time, I can make a monetary gain and sustain myself financially. So that's the first thing that you need to be looking at when selecting a space that you want to invest your time into. And because all those 4 boxes check, I selected crypto. If the same thing is valid for you, then perfect, you're in the best space, as Carl said, in the best time possible. Because from now and onwards, I mean, if you look at how many people are in crypto, it's only like 4.5% of the population. The best thing is to put yourself in the rabbit hole of understanding what Bitcoin and crypto is actually used for. And the best way to do that is by risking your money into it. So when I invested, basically everything I had, like $1,000 a couple of years back, I was forced to understand what the hell I was investing myself into, right? You just need to take that leap of faith. And as soon as you do that, you become immersed into it on a daily basis. And if you have a full-time job, that's the kind of difficult part. If you have a full-time job in something else, if you have a 9 to 5, then it's a little bit tough to immerse yourself and to understand the space so much that you can actually have the mindset of, okay, I'm not going to touch my Bitcoin. Because as Davinci said, it sounds like a simple thing to do, but it's incredibly tough. And I can give you the example of my own dad, for example. We were saying that, man, I wish I bought Bitcoin. We bought Bitcoin in 2013. What if I put in $1,000 or $10,000? It would have been worth so much right now. And I was like, Dad, let's be real here. If you bought Bitcoin at $1 and it went to $5, you would have sold everything. I mean, that's the reality. It's 5x. And for an average person, 5x is phenomenal returns that you would be surprised of. So if you have a 9 to 5, I realize it's a bit more difficult to switch into that mindset. I think if you're facing problems where Bitcoin actually solves your solution, offers a solution to, for example, if you're in a hyperinflationary country, where the only way to hedge yourself against that inflation is by storing your wealth in something else, like Bitcoin or gold or silver. At that point, you're immersed so much into what Bitcoin is built for, there's no way that you can skip the idea of why I should be involving myself in Bitcoin, because clearly there's a huge problem, and Bitcoin's the solution, right? Bitcoin is infinitely fractionable, so if you live in a hyperinflationary country, you can transact Bitcoin peer-to-peer without no intermediary, and you can send a fraction of a dollar. It doesn't matter. So that's one of the big things. Another big thing is that it actually improves, it increases the velocity of money across the world. So usually if I pay for, let's say, buy an iPhone with my credit card, it takes 3 to 5 business days for my money from my bank account to go to the merchant, there's fees involved, etc. Bitcoin solves all of that. So going back to the question, when you understand why Bitcoin is so important, and when you immerse yourself into these different problems that billions of people around the world are facing, 1.4 billion people in the world are unbanked. They're not able to open a bank account due to different reasons. So most of us are not one of those people, and that's why it's tough for us to actually get into that mindset. But once you understand these real problems that billions of people across the world are facing, you'll be like, hold on a second. This is something that is not taken up yet. I have the time to right now understand it and invest my money and potentially get a job inside the space. So it's like discovering AI, I think, 10 years ago. I mean, Bitcoin's still so young, crypto is still so young. So my advice to you, if you have a 9 to 5, try and do your best to, at least for 1 hour, 2 hours a day, listen to a podcast, watch our channels, right? And immerse yourself, understand it. Because once you fall into that rabbit hole, trust me, you're not going to get out. And if you dollar cost average into different altcoins, which then you take those profits, and we'll talk about this in a bit more detail, and then you put that into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the exit strategy. That's how you build generational wealth. So I hope that's helpful.
Awesome. So, Unice, I know what you're going to tell everybody. Buy meme coin. That's how you make it rich, right?
Yes. I'm actually a trader, so I do technical analysis mainly, just high probability patterns, and I think it's really simple for anyone to start. I think that's the first step if you really want to learn how to invest before that. And then eventually also get yourself a Twitter account, because all information, the latest one in real time, is all on Twitter, and there are a lot of people that you can follow gives you like free information, like I did free alpha, so everything's free, even on my Telegram is free. No cost, and then from there, if you get enough drop stake, right, in crypto, and then you can get into ICO drops and start getting into early stage investing. So, and then you cycle money from there, and then if you want to take more risk, get into the meme coins, because trading became boring for me. At first it was like 50%, 100%, 200, 300, you get great pumps. But meme coins, you get 1,000%, you get 2,000%. So it's like an addiction, right? And then you need to go more and more and quicker. So that's just my way of doing it and how I create my own wealth. I actually know a person where they started with zero by using airdrops. So he followed every different projects out there that say do this airdrop, you get X amount of money, $100, $200, and he started to save up those crypto. And I don't know, I think he gambled on meme coin, then he made millions. This is not financial advice, but it's very important that you get to know what is your loss appetite. Are you okay with losing? If you're not okay, this is probably not a space for you. Do you have time? Are you disciplined enough to look for charts every day to trade? Like I'm like that. I can do it on the toilet. I can do it anywhere I like. Actually, my best trades came from the toilet. Oh, it's the truth. Oh, PooCoin, it's the truth. And you call me a degenerate because I am. But I'm gonna drop you guys an alpha actually, not coin specific, I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm just saying like you should start looking into base chain, because base chain is going to be like, remember like 2021, Binance got ESC, and all the coins on PooCoin were pumping. So this cycle is on base chain because Brian Armstrong came around and said they're gonna bring 1.5 billion people into the space, into Coinbase, And they came up with a wallet that all the people, it's very, very easy for normies to use, which means liquidity is going to flow into base chain. And the coins on base chain is going to go crazy when that happens.
Yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree. Base is seems to be a growing ecosystem, and also layer twos. I think layer twos will be the next area in the sector, crypto sector, if not gaming, will be also the next sector in the game in the crypto sector. So we get into some good games is an option as well. No guarantees, but it's possible. All right, Maurizio, tell us, what do you think? Right. How is the best for people to make money in this crypto space?
Well, first of all, as they all said, super briefly, I would say do what you love, 100%. So figure out what is it you like to do, because what you love, what you're doing, is going to be easier to do. You'll have to work harder, but you won't feel it. You know, you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do, they say, right? I agree. So one, do what you love. Second, find a way to provide value, because that's super important. People think, that's my opinion, they focus on the money, but like Carl said, money is a consequence. So once you know what you love, you provide value, you will have a surrounding of people that have what you want. So imagine if I call any of those beautiful people and say, hey, Bitcoin 80K, I want to sell. They're not going to let me, because they're going to help me not going off my path. So I would say, what you love, find a way to provide value, and surround yourself with people that have what you want, so that when you are in the mud, because you will be in the mud, they'll be with you, and it's going to be easier. So that's my three satoshis.
Awesome. Thank you, Maurizio. Mr. M here, Mr. M's podcast, and also he's on the Moon Show, right? Hosting the Moon Show. So make sure you tune in to his channels there. Yeah, so we're gonna end it off.